What happens tonight at midnight when the funding for the Department of Homeland Security expires, as Senate Democrats are unable to reach an agreement with the White House over continuing the funding for the Department of Homeland Security? Joining me now by phone to give us the latest is Congressman Buddy Carter, who serves on the House Budget Committee and the Committee on Energy and Commerce. He represents the 1st Congressional District of Georgia. Congressman Carter, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Tony. It's always a pleasure.
So the Department of Homeland Security shutdown is all but certain. The bill from the House did not advance. The Democrats blocked it. What are you hearing, and what is this shutdown going to affect?
Well, the shutdown is going to affect, first of all, obviously it's going to affect ICE, and I support ICE, and ICE is doing their job. They have been charged with the mission of removing criminal illegal immigrants, and that is what they're doing. But it's also going to have an impact on other programs as well, not the least of which is FEMA. And right now, after the winter storm that we've just experienced, people need FEMA. And FEMA is now not going to be appropriated. It's not going to be funded. And here we have people without power as a result of this winter storm. They're not going to get the help that they need. Not only that, but others that are going to be impacted. TSA, the Coast Guard. Those are important programs in our country. Yet Chuck Schumer and John Ossoff and the Democrats are putting illegal criminal immigrants ahead of American citizens who need these services.
So how quickly will citizens begin to feel the shutdown?
Well, they'll be able to fill it pretty quick. And when DHS shuts down, and that should be probably at midnight tonight, then you'll see the impact. First of all, FEMA is going to be impacted immediately. TSA will continue because they are a service that's essential. But the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard, but they're not going to get paid. And you know, here we have Americans who are working, who are not getting paid, providing essential services, and yet, again, Chuck Schumer, John Ossoff, and the Democrats are putting criminal illegal immigrants ahead of these American workers who are doing their job.
There does not appear to be a resolution on the horizon because both the House and the Senate will be on recess next week. If the Senate does not move anything tonight, you know, there's likely not to be, will not be a resolution next week. So we may be looking at the following week before there's even conversations about it.
Well, you're exactly right. And again, that's Chuck Schumer, John Ossoff, and the Democrats putting criminal illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens. And yes, this could last a while. Now, we have been put on 48-hour notice. The Speaker has said, be ready, that we may need to call you in within 48 hours. And certainly, if we need to do that, we will. But you make a good point. The Senate is scheduled to be out. Number of members are, you know, we have plans. We have lives outside of Congress, and they have plans. And certainly we will fulfill our obligations, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's going to be difficult to get everybody back at once. When you scatter across the United States, it's difficult. And yet, again, here we have John Ossoff, Chuck Schumer, and the Democrats paying no attention whatsoever to the American citizens, instead putting criminal illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens. And let's face it, this is nothing more than defund the police all over again. That's exactly what it is, defund the police.
Now, I understand in anticipation of hopefully reaching some type of resolution, the House Speaker, I believe, canceled the congressional overseas trips?
Yes, I understand that. And, you know, that, and again, we as members of Congress, we understand we're willing to do our part, but this is just another example of Chuck Schumer, John Ossoff, and the Democrats putting the criminal illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens, ahead of members of Congress, ahead of everyone, and just because they're trying to protect them. And look, Tom Homan, you just reported that There's going to be a drawdown of the forces in Minnesota. The surge is going to end. We've agreed to provide body cams for the ICE agents. We're trying to negotiate in good faith, and yet the Democrats don't want to do that.
Congressman Carter, let me step back for a moment and ask a bigger question here, because we just had another shutdown at the end of the year. We had a longest shutdown in American history. But these are becoming more frequent. Is this another just symptom of a Congress and a nation that is divided?
I would submit to you that it is, and it's unfortunate because, the government shouldn't shut down. And there are a number of people who are proposing that we pass legislation that says the government can't shut down. I'm not sure, the devil's in the details on something of that magnitude. But again, this is the ploy. And thank you for mentioning the shutdown back in the fall. Let's don't forget that for 42 days, the government was shut down, the longest shutdown in the history of our country. And why? Because Chuck Schumer, John Ossoff, and the Democrats, once again, they were trying at that time to get health care benefits for illegal immigrants. And we're not going to do that. We're simply not going to do that. They failed to do it, yet they shut the government down for that long of a period of time, making people suffer, making our troops not get paid, our SNAP, our beneficiaries in those programs, those very important programs. They didn't give them the WIC program. All of those suffered as a result of the Democrats' selfishness, trying to defund the police, and once again, putting illegal criminal immigrants ahead of the American people.
All right, Congressman Buddy Carter, we're going to leave it there. I want to thank you for taking time to join us. Always great to hear from you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Congressman Buddy Carter of Georgia.